If you're looking for a thrill, then you're in for a treat. In this video, we're going to show you some of the most terrifying places in Hong Kong that you should never visit. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Top 10 Binge. Do subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to never miss an update from us in the future. If you're looking for a thrill, then you're in for a treat. In this video, we're going to show you some of the most terrifying places in Hong Kong that you should never visit. These places are so scary that not even locals dare to go there. So if you're brave enough, step into our world and see what all the fuss is about. Number 3. Dragon Lodge. The Dragon Lodge comes in at number 3 on our list for today. The Dragon Lodge can be found on the summit, which is recognized as one of the most desirable locations for real estate in all of Hong Kong. And while that does imply that it comes with a hefty price tag, on the other hand, it is loaded with horrific tales. It is stated that over the course of its history, Dragon Lodge has been owned by a number of different people, beginning with the person who constructed it. However, he became bankrupt in 1920 and had to sell the property. It is believed that Japanese forces who seized the lodge during World War II were responsible for the deaths of Catholic nuns who were found dead in the front courtyard of the building. By the time the 1980s rolled around, Dragon Lodge had already earned a reputation as one of the most haunted locations in all of Hong Kong. Rumblings were heard, but in spite of them, the site was purchased once more, and there were plans for some retail development. Despite this, these efforts were ultimately unsuccessful because, as construction workers began to do some work on the building, they too became convinced of the paranormal nature of the building. The workers refused to continue working on the mansion because they kept hearing what sounded like a child crying inside of it. Since then, there have been no changes made to the mansion in any way. Number 2. Bride's Pool. Next, we have the Bride's Pool taking the number 2 spot in our rankings. Even though it is a rock pool with waterfalls surrounding it, the Bride's Pool is quite stunning. A terrible event is the inspiration for both the eerie name and lore of the place. The story goes that 4 men were taking a bride-to-be to her groom's village on a chair. In order to get to the village, they needed to cross the pool, so they carried the chair over the water. One of the men stumbled on a rock as they were passing over one of the waterfalls, and as a result, all of them fell down into the pool below, tragically drowning and dying as a result of the disaster. Now, because the bride never made it to her groom, she is waiting for him at the bottom of the pool. She is expecting him to return soon. There have also been stories of people taking their own lives in this location, and in 1982, at one point, human bones were recovered that turned out to belong to a guy whose fiancée had killed him. The awful stories do not come to an end though, and they even continue all the way up to the road that stands above the pool. This road is now known as the Lethal Curve due to the high number of accidents that have occurred there, all of which have resulted in fatalities. Perhaps it's just the unlucky streak of the pool. If you are liking the video so far, do give the video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends as well. That said, let's look at which terrifying place in Hong Kong topped our list, shall we? Number 1. White House Compound. The White House and its surrounding grounds occupy today's coveted number 1 spot. During the 7 riots that occurred in the 1960s, this location, which is also known as the Victoria Road Detention Center, was used to detain people who were suspected of spying and political prisoners. As a result, many people are familiar with this location. This indicates that it was also a location where a significant number of individuals were subjected to heinous treatment, suffered harm, or were put to death. In addition to being kept in deplorable conditions, the detainees were crammed into filthy, overcrowded cells, and some of them were isolated for extended periods of time. After the riots came to an end, the location was deserted and most people forgot about it, with the notable exception of those who were aware of the horrors that had taken place within. This location had no identifying markers from the time it was deserted until not too long ago. It was not marked on any maps, and there were no signs directing people there. That is, up until the year 2018, when it was transformed into an international campus for the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. This was done in order to rebuild the land and perhaps give it a much brighter future. Okay, folks, we think that wraps up everything on our list for today. Thanks for checking it out. Would you like to visit any of these places? Let us know in the comments. We will see you soon.